Right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another discussion on what we thought were the best movies in 2026. If you haven't seen our previous video on what were the worst movies so far in 2026, check that out. But now we want to talk about some movies that we might recommend. Hopefully you've seen them. If you haven't, maybe you'll find some gems in here that you'll want to turn on and watch either at home or in the theater. But with me today, as always, Dominic. Dominic, welcome.
Jeff, thanks for having me again. I always like being a part of the Kimmel's Irish Pub family here.
Yes. Hopefully other people enjoy it as well. So let us know if you like these videos. We'll continue to make them. And if you have any other suggestions, let us know. We're happy to review and talk about movies any which way that we can. We're going to dive in right away because we have a bunch of movies to get to. Some of them might overlap, some of them might not. We just did the bottom three and none of them overlap. So that was fantastic. So I tried to go through my list. As usual, there's a bunch of ties, so I tried to get cute with it. In this case, I don't think I got that cute. I didn't find any gems that are hidden rocks, but I have reasons for these to break the tie, if you know what I mean. So the third best movie, I'm going to say, that I've watched so far in 2026, and now all of mine have been made in 2026. Sam Raimi put it together, Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien in Send Help. I just love Dylan O'Brien. That guy is amazing. I think he is one of the best young actors that I don't know. Maybe he's well known out there, but he doesn't do all the top billing. There's not a lot of talk about him. He just shows up, does his job, and everybody does what a great job. Watching him in this movie and how he acts, from start to finish is amazing. And Rachel McAdams does a great job on her own, but he really stood out to me in this movie. There are some things that I would change maybe a little bit about it, but I love the premise of, she's working up her ranks. She wants to be promoted within the job. He becomes the boss, the CEO. They get trapped on an island. Little do you know, she's like a survivor. She wants to be a survivor contestant kind of thing. So she's got, the ins and outs of the island kind of stuff, whereas he's like, from a wealthy family, might not know how to do all this stuff. And it really turns around and, becomes a ridiculous kind of situation for the both of them. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie. And the biggest thing for me, and the reason I chose this one to break all the ties, at least to come in third, was Dylan O'Brien. So anytime he's in anything, I'll watch it. And I've seen people in my comments recommend other movies for him that I have on my list that I'm going to be checking out. So Send Help, number three for me.
Went on that really quick. I mean, I saw Send Help also, and I debated putting it on the best of these first some months here, but it didn't make the list. I mean, it's certainly not on the worst list, but I didn't make the cut for the best list. I remember your review of Send Help. By the way, I watched it for Rachel McAdams because I just love Rachel McAdams there. But like you said, Dylan was good too. But to your point, I didn't kind of come and spell it out, but I remember your review. There were two choices towards the end that I didn't like. Like the way they ended it was like I think that the Sam Raimi thought it was way more clever than it actually was. It was actually kind of lazy, I thought, and a little bit contrived. And then there was something that happened with Rachel McAdams' character that she took a turn that made you not really like her as much there. So it kind of fell apart at the very end for me. It kind of tripped at the finish line, if you will. But that doesn't negate the fact that, two-thirds, three-fourths of it I liked. So overall, it gets the thumbs up. And the actors really got into it. Everyone seemed to have a good time. But I don't know why. Sam Raimi, sometimes with these type of movies, ends it in kind of a weird way, or he didn't seem like he knew what to do. And he came up with a couple of things that I didn't really think worked. And they tripped at the finish line there, but it was still pretty good. Do you agree with that? I don't want to spell it out, so I
Yeah,
don't want
no,
to
I
say
agree
spoiler.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I agree with the ending. I think they could have done some different things, and that would have been my notes on it. And I might even include that in my review. So check that out. But the Dylan O'Brien thing, I thought that was enough to put me over the top. Tell me, what was your number three movie?
I recently saw it. There's been some mixed reviews about it. It seems to skew positive, but I give this a thumbs up. I left and I was quite satisfied. The original movie was better, but this was good. They came up with something, a unique way to get at this here. I'm talking about The Devil Wears Prada 2, directed by Dave Frankel and starring Meryl Streep Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci. It was different than the original. You can't have the same thing twice, like a wide-eyed like girl in her low 20s goes to Manhattan and tries to be a fashion designer or whatever have you. You know, Anne Hathaway was older. She's probably in her mid 40s, and she went back to Meryl Streep and tried to help her. I don't remember the name of the company off the top of my head there, but it was a little bit more somber. It was a little bit more real. It was a little bit more raw. Meryl Streep did an excellent job. Her character, Miranda Priestley, was different, had aged. She was a little bit more vulnerable. They just got at it in a more human, nuanced, interesting way that fits modern times, I thought. I thought that I thought that they did something really good here. They didn't just make the same movie again, because that wouldn't have worked. It was kind of like lightning in the bottle there. There was a little bit of a twist when Emily Blunt's character, that I don't know, totally worked. Like the total conclusion didn't exactly work for me, but it was good enough. They did something different there, and everybody came back with a full heart to make this one, in my opinion. Not as good as the original, but I think pretty much the best that they could have possibly done. And by the way, I don't know how these people don't age. Meryl Streep must be in her mid 70s. She looks the same as she did like 20 years ago. And all these other people, some of them look even better. It's like, what are you doing? I mean,
All right.
but I would have to say The Devil Wears Prada 2 was a good one there. Yeah, I was surprised in a good way. Devil Wears Prada 2.
There you go. Well, and I forgot to mention that different points of view here because you have a lot of theater experience going to the theaters. I have that hasn't come out streaming yet, so I haven't gone to the theater yet. That is on my list. I think my wife will hopefully watch that with me. We watched the original. But I'm excited to see it, but I don't have any insight. I did hear that it does bring in like more current, modern type events and impacts to their businesses and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see it, but now I'm even more excited because I haven't seen that yet. So Devil Wears Prada, number three on your list. All right. Jumping over to number two for me, and you mentioned you watched Send Help for Rachel McAdams. I watched this for the female in it too, Isa Gonzalez in the movie Mike and Nick and Alice. She's not the only one I watched her for, but Vince Vaughn and James Marsden is also in it. And the reason I kind of picked this out, this kind of broke the tie because it's one of those, made for streaming movies. This was on Hulu, Disney, that conglomerate there, and that came out. So if you have Hulu, which I do, you're able to watch that as soon as it comes out. So I love that aspect. I love when Netflix and Hulu and Apple TV put these movies out. Not all of them are great, right? But this one I really enjoyed. And I don't like movies with time travel in it. I don't have a problem with time travel, but time travel gets so quirky, right? And there's so many things that it's like, well, if you do that, this is going to mess this up. Or, hey, you're just using time travel to fix the thing that you made, the pothole that you made. But in this case, I didn't let it bother me. It's a small piece of it where there's two Vince Vaughns in the movie, and I think they're funny. I think the whole premise when we're talking about Gilmore Girls, I love when they, and, they they make themselves like real. Like, hey, we watch Gilmore Girls, and they have the argument over, who's the best boyfriend. I don't watch Girls, but I watch other shows similar to that, so I get the kind of reference. And I just love them all in this, and I think Isa Gonzalez should be the next Wonder Woman. I don't think they should. I don't think Gal Gadot should stop being Wonder Woman, but I think that's going to happen. I think she should be the next Wonder Woman. I like her. I'll watch anything she's in. I'll watch anything Vince Vaughn's in, and James Marsden. He's in the new show Paradise. If you've seen that show, check that out. But this one, because of the humor, because of the people in it, because of the free aspect of it, really rose to the top for me. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching it, and I laughed a lot. So, whatever it was, it's a bunch of names. Mike and Nick and Alice. Check that one out. I thought that one was a great one. So that's my number two best movie I saw so far this year.
I remember seeing that. I mean, Vince Vaughn is cool. He hasn't been around in a while. He's just here and there. Um, I'm a James Morrison fan. I think that James Morrison is highly underrated. I mean, he probably did very well with the Sonic movies and stuff, but I love James Morrison. He could play a handsome guy or he could play like a regular neighbor guy. I mean, he just seems he's a likable guy. There's something about him that just works. I like James Morrison. I really like him. So that sounds like it might be worth my time. Yeah.
All right. And what was your number two?
Actually, I saw it as a double feature with The Devil Wears Prada 2, so it kind of worked out. Now, this movie didn't get such great reviews, but I liked it. I liked it. Um, Maybe it was number two because I didn't expect that much, but I ended up liking it pretty good there. It wasn't like amazing, but I ended up liking it pretty good, way better than I like. And I really like the main actor, and I think he's underrated too. The main actor's name is Aaron Eckhart. He was, Harvey Dent in the movies Batman, but he hasn't really done all that much. But Aaron Eckhart, you know him as Harvey Dent from Batman. That became Two-Face or whatever have you. And Ben Kingsley was in it for a little while there. It was called Deep Water, directed by Remy Holland. It was basically a shark movie, but there was a little bit of a twist. It was a little bit different. That their plane had gone down and there were sharks all around them. There was one trope with someone who was a bit of a jerk and his character wasn't really played in the right way. That the way he ended was a little bit silly. But there was a twist with Aaron Eckhart, and I called the twist as it was going along that was interesting and kind of had to do with grief a little bit. And I just like Aaron Eckhart. I just like Aaron Eckhart. He's underrated. And this movie was pretty, it was way better than it needed to be, way better than it deserved to be. Deep Water, again, I know you've seen so many shark movies, but I'm just a big fan of Aaron Eckhart. And I thought it was pretty good there. I like Deep Water with the sharks. Watch it on streaming and you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I'll check that one out. I haven't seen that one. I think I've seen it advertised and I've never clicked on it, so I'll add that to my list. I like Aaron Eckhart. I think he was also the bricklayer. Because I made that joke that they come out with the beekeeper, the
Good
bricklayer,
joke.
the bakersman. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I think he was the bricklayer or something like that. So, but yeah, I'll check that one out. That's a good one. All right, jump into my number one, and I picked this one because I think it's less popular. I don't think it got the notoriety. No, I don't think many people liked it like I did. Kate McKinnon and Rashada Jones, right? And I love strong female leads. I think, not a lot of people do. This one is like three different stories that span years and years apart, thousands of years. They're all connected. It's called In the Blink of an Eye. I'm not a big Kate McKinnon fan. I was early on in her career, but this is more of a serious role where she's way out in the future, traveling on a spaceship, doing something like that. Rashada Jones is more present time, and then there's like the caveman aspect of it, right? So they're playing these three different stories about how what life is and how we're all connected, and I was just intrigued the whole time. Something that can hold my attention where I'm not looking at my phone, I'm not waiting for the next thing. I really enjoyed it, and I didn't expect to. So this was one where I was pleasantly surprised. The other two, the actors, you like everybody in it. This one I took a chance on, and it really I really enjoyed it. So if you haven't seen it in a blink of an eye, check that one out. That one was awesome.
Yeah, Rochelle Jones is awesome. Kate McKinnon is she got a little weird at one point, but yeah, I mean, maybe it's a little more serious role. She did better, or she did it well. That sounds like something I would like to give a try to. It's a little bit hard to listen to those movies with different storylines, different times to keep track and stuff like that, but still, maybe it sounds like it's worth my time there.
Yeah. All right, Dominic. So what was your number one movie of 2026?
My number one movie of 2026 thus far, from the beginning to just about the middle of May. Actually, it was starring Daphne Keane. She was X-23 in Logan movie from quite some time ago. She was young. Now she's, a grown woman. And Skylar Yang, directed by Corin Hardy. And actually, recently, as we're recording this, the middle of May 2026 came to Amazon Plus to watch on streaming. Yeah, and it wasn't advertised at all, but it was called Whistle. It was called Whistle. Now, look, it was a lot like the Final Destination movies, and you've seen movies like this before, but it was a little bit different enough for it to, give it the thumbs up there. I haven't seen Daphne Keane. She's been around here and there, I suppose, but really she was known for being X-23, and that movie came out quite some time ago. So she was a child then. Now she's like a beautiful woman who's 20 whatever years old. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of helped watching her. She was not difficult to look at. But other than that, it was just a pretty good movie. I just thought it was solid. It was like one of the better Final Destination movies, but it was just different enough. I'm really hoping it starts a franchise. The directing was excellent, and the cinematography happened to be exceptional in a movie like this. And the story was good. It was good, a little bit rote. The ending was a little weird, but I hope that they make another one. I hope they make a franchise out of this. I hope Daphne Keane comes back. She hit on something that's working for her. At least I thought. I really thought so. Whistle. I thought it was good. It was good. Maybe I might watch it later because it came to Amazon Plus. Maybe I'll watch it the next couple of days here. I liked Whistle. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's funny. I know what movie you're talking about. I had no idea who was in it. It was on my list. I knew it came out, came to streaming, right? And I could have watched it. But for some reason, when I was deciding what movie to watch, I thought that was more of like a horror movie or scary movie. I don't know why. I don't, again, I didn't, I had it on my list. Whistle, okay, great. And again, like if I would have known, it's more of like it's not a horror movie, but it's more, the
Thriller. Like a
the
thriller. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that she was in it, I definitely would have watched it. Maybe that's why got added to my list. I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna add that to my list and watch that in the next couple of days. So that's a good one to check out.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one. It seemed to work all the way around. It's a little funny when the last time you saw a celebrity was like 10 years ago and they were a little kid and you see them now and they're like 25 years old and kind of a knockout. It's just a little funny to see that. You still think of her as like a little kid when she was with, Logan or whatever, but now she's a 25-year-old woman or something like that. So, but yeah, Daphne Keane there, Whistle, give it a try. Jeff, give it
Yeah.
give it a whirl.
It's funny that you say that because I was going to talk to you about this after the recording, but it kind of works in now. Superman and Lois. Remember that TV show? I like that one. It was one of the many that they made, Smallville, Lois and Clark, all that kind of stuff. That was the most recent one that I really liked. There was a girl in that. She was the daughter of Lana Lang, I think, and who was whatever. Her first name is Indy, right? She was the child. She hung out with the sons of Superman, right? Like she was one of their boyfriend or girlfriends, right? They
I
were
remember,
boyfriend
yeah.
girlfriend for a little bit there, whatever. I saw her in that. She got kind of we talked about this in one of our superhero episodes where they kind of started to write people off the show. Not everybody, you couldn't tell, but that's really like the last season, and so I wasn't as interested. But she was in that. You know who she is. She's in a
Yeah.
new movie called Obsession, right? And I can't wait to see that. Like this is here. Like I've never seen her in anything else. I've only seen her in that, and I've seen a small snippet of what she does. And now that she's popping up on my social medias, showing like what range this girl has. Like it's unbelievable of what she does in this movie. They say like she is awesome, and she does a fantastic job. So super excited. And the director of this movie, I saw him like it was Milk and Cereal. It was a YouTube movie this guy directed. Him and his buddy directed Milk and Cereal straight to YouTube. You can go watch it now for free. Phenomenal. And I was like, these guys are amazing. And then I looked, they have like a whole library of stuff that they've done on their own. Like, they went to film school, dropped out, I think, and just started making movies on their own. Very smart. Now he's launched this movie Obsession. He's directing. He's like the youngest director of all time or something. He's very young. I don't know if he's the youngest of all time, but very young. And now he's got this movie and she's in it. And it kind of relates to what you were just talking about with Daphne Keane. So I'm excited to see that. So I'm pumping that up. That might make the next best couple of movies, hopefully, that we see the rest of this year.
Remember, I used to like that show. I liked it a lot. Yeah, you never know. I mean, someone who just a random girlfriend on the show wasn't in it like this big part of it. They could be the actress of a lifetime or the actor of a lifetime. You never know.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, there we have it. We got a good perspective. I think you touched on some streaming stuff. You touched on some theaters like mine were all streaming, but hopefully we found some movies out there that people didn't see and they trust our opinion and might go watch those movies now and enjoy them as much as we did. If not, love to hear your thoughts. If you saw those movies, you disagree, let us know. If you agree, let us know. Anything, just let us know. Comment below. But that's it there. The top 6 movies Dominic and I saw so far this year, January through half of May. And let us know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts, what other ideas you have. But I'll leave it at that and turn it over to you, Dominic, for final words.
I mean, I just want to say I really do appreciate doing this with you, Jeff. I know you're a busy businessman, also a busy family man. It's good that we get to carve out time every once and again to give this a try here. It's fun. You got to have a little bit of fun in life. The best movies of 2026, the worst movies of 2026 in a different video there. And, we had some good picks. We make a good team, at least I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Hopefully so does our audience. But that's it.
Hopefully.
Right? That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.